It is another exciting day. We are actually going to go put the wheels on the Forester. Hopefully we can get the car on the ground tonight to see how these will look with the Forester on the ground. We also got the rest of the fittings for these gauges. That way we can wire all 6 gauges in the car. And I also went and picked up paint to paint match the cinder caps on the wheels to match the Forester, because I think that'll be a nice little touch. I know you guys are probably going to be mad about me not going with white wheels again, but I did in fact try to get these in white, but they were back ordered 4 months, and then I tried to get ESRs in white, and those were back ordered 4 months, and I figured these in silver would look really good, and I decided to do the green cinder cap just to add a little extra flair, hopefully to make you guys happy. Oh, and as you probably saw in there, we have all the paint for the rest of the lip kit. Just finished pumping up the wheels to 45 PSI because we're running a pretty aggressive stretch. You want to run a little bit higher PSI than you would normally. It's not too high that it's unsafe, but it'll help keep more pressure on the sidewalls to keep these from debeating while driving. So 45 PSI. And now we're just going to double check that everything in here in the wheel wells is all buttoned up before we throw them on, and I think we'll throw the car on the ground. Okay, that's kind of one test fitted on the car. As you see, we're pretty flush with the fender, but we want to be tucking, so we actually have slotted coils, so we'll be able to loosen the top bolt on the coil and slot the wheel in. So that'll give you a good angle of this thing coming down. Oh, we're stuck on the jack. All right. Oh yeah. Okay, so now that we got the car on the ground, I want to put the rear spat on to see how low we are now. Oh, we're so close to touching. Fitment is not bad. We are tucking just barely the lip of the wheel. In the rear, in the front, we are fender to lip, which is where I want to be. The front, I don't really have much room to go lower. The driver's side seems to be a tad lower than the passenger side, so I might need to spin the passenger side down a little bit. The rear, I can take all the airlines back out and spin the bag down more to get lower in the rear, which I actually already tried to do, but I have so much crap in the trunk. I don't want to unload the whole trunk just so I can take the airlines apart again. So this is how we're going to leave it for now. Once we get the car running and driving again, then that'll be something I'll do that's quick and easy. That looks so good. Let me show you guys the rear back here. Just the same, barely tuck in. And the front, fender to lip. Like I said, we can't really go lower because we're hitting already in there. But yeah, that's good. We're about 1/2 inch off the trans mount, and down here I would say we're like 1.5 inches off the subframe. So, I mean, like, we do have room to go lower if we want, but this is good for now. I don't want to keep working on this. I got other more important stuff to get done on this. So now we're actually going to start wiring the triple gauges for the A-pillar and the dash gauges all together to this button. We have the air up and air down switches. We're going to wire the 3 gauges that go here for the back pressures and the tank pressure. 3 gauges that go on the dash right there for boost, oil, temp, and volts. And wire them all to power, and then the switch. That way, when I get in the car, I can turn that switch on and all the gauges will come on so I can check everything before I start the car. So we're gonna work on the A-pillar gauges first, and what we're gonna do to get this all done, so we have like 4 or 5 wires, 4 wires on each gauge, and instead of running 4 to everything, because these are all the same gauge, we're gonna run, red to red, orange to orange, yellow to yellow, black to black, wire them together into 4, wire all those together to 4 total wires. Do the same thing for all the wires on the dash. So we're gonna have 8 total wires, and then we'll bring all of those together, and then we'll have, again, 4 total wires. Or go to power, 1 wire to go to the headlights, 1 wire to be ground. I have to go look at the diagram again to figure it out. Okay, so look at the diagram. Looks like we have 12 volt constant source unswitched, 12 volt ignition source switched, vehicle ground, 12 volt switched headlamp source. So the yellow constant source will go to blue, and when I want them on green, so instead of changing all of them to green when I start the car, leaving 12 volt constant source, that will make it so the gauges will remember that they're going to turn on green. So that will go to the fuse box somewhere, constant source. The ignition source, that's one that we're going to run to the switch, and then the switch is already routed to the battery. So that way you flip the switch on, the gauges will turn on. And then we just have ground, and then a headlamp source is when you turn on the headlights, and then they'll dim darker so they don't blind you at night, and that'll run to the fuse box as well. Here's the time lapse of me starting to do this. Sorry for it being dark, but we have the hoses, we have tank, front, and rear back pressure all plumbed up with the new fittings. But me being an idiot, I ran everything down to make sure I could get everything from underneath. And I didn't put the freaking A-pillar piece on, which means one of two things. I either have to take everything off and redo it and make holes in the A-pillar piece, or I thought of an ingenious idea. I cut it in half. Now listen to me, I know that's a janky cut, but watch. You should be able to clip this in and have it run around it and down. And so we're cutting off the front right here so it can at least clip in right there. And then we're gonna cut it off right here again, so at least it has all these clips. So it'll look like a full piece, but the two different pieces will slide in to leave room for these to go behind. So I'm gonna try that out real quick. Oh, that's in. Oh, and that's gonna look freaking killer. You might see some up there, but you know, it's not gonna be noticeable. We'll throw the other piece on up here. We haven't put this piece on. I'll show you guys what's wrong with this piece. So when you throw this piece on right here, it's like not bad, but I don't know. It jets out and kind of looks weird like that. But, you know, maybe we can leave it off and just put some like black vinyl there or something, just to make it kind of look natural. But, you know, you can't see any of the wires except if you go up here. Like, I really feel like that was the best way we were gonna get this done. I mean, I guess I'll just leave this here for now. But now we have all of the wires down here, and we have all the hoses connected, so now it'll read all the bag pressures on it, which is awesome. Well, I now just noticed that GlowShift forgot to send me the hose for the boost line. I can't find it anywhere. I mean, this is the box that it came in, and it is non-existent, you know. The boost line is non-existent, which means I can't wire those gauges for the center of the dash until I have a boost line. This sucks. I don't know where it would be, if it would be in here. We're gonna throw the cluster back in before we exit this video then. So for the cluster, we have these three green gauges. We have these three green plugs that go to the back, right there. They go to the back right here. So we're gonna have to plug those in and then feed the cluster in. I don't know if it'll be easier to do with no, it'll be easier with the steering wheel down. All plugs in. Really ever do what you want it to. Oh, there you go. Cluster back in, bezel back in. Gauge is done. Wheels on the car. I think we can call it a successful night, even though this took me 10 times longer than it should have. Anyways, thank you for watching. We're gonna have to figure out the leak on this wheel because it's still losing air. And yeah, we have the center caps off because we're painting them green, like I said. So I took this off before we put them on so we won't have to take them off again. All right. So we're going to end this one. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.